Hello, folks. Welcome to today's art activity. Today we are going to be making a forest hike collage. We're going to be making a nice colorful background and doing sort of some silhouettes of trees and some bushes and things that you might find in a forest hike. My name is Tyler, and I'm excited to be here with you. So let's get started. The materials that you'll need to work on our project today are, to begin, a nice heavy sheet of paper. I'm going to use white. You can use whatever color you want to start with, as long as it's nice and heavy. So Bristol board or cardstock. I'm using a mixed media, like a watercolor paper. So if you have that, you can use that as well. You're going to need lots of colored paper. I'm going to use tissue paper for that, because I have lots of that around. You can use construction paper or even wrapping paper, anything you like, and some dark construction paper. I'm going to use black. Doesn't matter what color you use, as long as it stands out really dark against the bright colors you put down first. Also going to use a pair of scissors and some glue. You can use white glue if you prefer, or even that Collage with the brush, but I'm going to use a glue stick because that's what I've got here today. So I'm going to set our example aside, and to begin, I'm going to grab lots of tissue paper here, and you can cut it up with your scissors. You can rip it and tear it. You can do this with any colors that you use. And now I'm going to start to fill up my sheet, my background paper here. So I'm actually going to start with this nice dark one here. Put that right up at the top. It's kind of like this. So I've cut that one into a nice long strip. Maybe my next piece will be another red, but a little bit different. And then the nice thing about tissue paper, you can overlap it a little bit and get some other colors going on in there. All right, so now I'm going to start to use maybe some of these smaller pieces, and kind of, so you can see how it starts to look if you kind of tear it and rip it a little bit. And I'm going to glue these down. I'm going to put a bunch of glue down here and kind of overlap them a little bit. I'm just kind of going quickly on this to get to the good part. But essentially what you want to be doing is you want to fill up your whole sheet full of different colors. I'm using, lots of reds and oranges. So we've got lots of warm colors here. Maybe they're warm fall colors. And it's actually kind of, some of these are kind of flipping up and sticking up a little bit. Maybe I'll overlap over that a little bit, change that color a bit with this stuff, because then you get like a nice texture, and that's kind of neat, I think. Or you can glue them flat, however you want to do that. It's your piece, it's your art. Okay, put that one down there. It's over here. I didn't have any orange. Let's put a little bit of orange in. Maybe I'll put a big old piece of orange right down there, and another chunk up here, just like that. Cover up these white spots. So it's okay if your paper, like I said, I was just going quickly, and some of it, when I flip it over, you can see it kind of like went off the edges. You can always snip that off afterwards, or you can just fold it behind. sometimes I like to just kind of to go for it, and then I'll trim things afterwards. You know, I don't want the edges to kind of keep me, to hold me back. All right, now that I'm done with the tissue paper, I'm going to set that aside so I can kind of see what I'm working with here. All right. Now, if I want this to be a forest hike, I'm going to start by cutting some of my construction paper into long strips. Oops. Like these, nice sort of different widths, some skinny ones, some thick ones. And you can see I've got a whole bunch over here. And now I'm going to start gluing these on sort of top to bottom, like this. And let's see, I'll put one of them here. I'll put a little bit of glue over top because I am overlapping some of my trees, my tree trunks a little bit. And I'm going to do them at a little bit sort of different angles a little bit here and there. Because not all the trees are always going to be super straight. Maybe they sort of started getting blown over by the wind a little bit. Okay, that one's going to be leaning that way a wee bit. And then you can use some of the smaller ones. Maybe I'll cut this one a bit smaller. To glue on some branches if you like. Oops. There we go. Okay, so I've got a couple of branches hanging out down there. I'll snip that one off. Great. Okay, now I'm going to add in the treetops and then the bottom, so the ground where maybe you'd be going on your hike. So I cut out this piece out of a bigger chunk. I just kind of cut along that line. You could use that for the top, kind of like this. If you want, another thing that you could do is you can cut out with your leftover chunks just some shapes. I've got an oval shape here. I'm going to glue that up there. And to make my forest appear, my trees to appear very, very tall, I'm going to have my trees go right off the top of the page. Just kind of like that. And I'm going to snip this one right away and reuse this piece maybe over here. There we go. Okay, so I'm cutting out ovals, some half circles. I'm actually running out of glue, so I might have to get another one soon. Okay, and then maybe I'll put this part of this piece right around there. Looks like there's a few more branches that need some tree parts on them, so let's go ahead and do those. Since those are a bit smaller branches, I'm going to cut a smaller oval, kind of like this. And if you want your tree parts to be, triangles, squares, whatever shape you want them to be, it's totally up to you. Have some fun with it. You can do some wacky shapes. When I do trees, I often try to think of like, maybe like a cloud shape or a giant popcorn. And of course, it depends on what kind of tree you're creating. All right. Well, that looks actually kind of nice with those little bits down there. And now I'm going to add the ground part in, and I am going to use this other piece here because I think that fits kind of nicely down there. There's already a little bit of glue left there. And now that I've done all this, I can go around and I can trim the edges off. Give it a nice little trim. Fold that part underneath. And there we go. We've got ourselves a nice silhouette forest fall hike. Now, if you want to put anything else in there, if you want to draw out some animals, or you can cut out, your family or people, and you can glue them in here, whatever you like. Maybe some squirrels or a deer or something that you might see on a fall hike. Okay, have some fun with that and enjoy.